Now, for your final Martinique rum tasting, before I dive into Guadeloupe, remember I have said we will be revisiting Martinique in a big, big way. There is a lot more rums that I want to feature, but I want to do the summer of cane juice. I want to shine a light fairly on all the different cane producing nations without spending like 6 to 8 weeks solely on Martinique. So we're going to be moving on, but I thought I wanted to bring you something a little bit different for the last tasting video. And these, I'll be honest, as I said previous video, I'm not 100% sure of what they actually are. Now, I'll kind of talk you through this. So, they are Rhum JM. They are not AOC rums. But as far as I'm aware, they are, yeah, they do actually put Agricole on there, but they are not, they're not AOC rums. What we've got on there is we kind of deep dived from that AOC video. We've got, God, I'm gonna be pushing my French in here, ain't we? But let's go. We've got the Rhum Vieux des Antilles de Français. So basically aged rum from the French islands, essentially. You know, so why they're not AOC, that's the bit I'm not 100% convinced about. I don't have the depth of knowledge to kind of guide you there. So hence why I said in the previous video, I will be tapping into Ash. Ash has sent me a load of stuff. I've got some PDFs, I've got information on this, but I don't comprehend of why it's not AOC. The only bits I can kind of sort of loosely guide you with is because how I think these rums, and there's a third one, there's another Volcanique. So not this one, but it's a black label, a Fume Volcanique, I think. What I think these rums are, excuse me if I'm, apologies if I've given you wrong information, is that I think how they've made it, it's not that they've used different cane or anything like this. I think it's down to the barrels in the aging. Basically, what I think how these have been produced is they've used different levels of toasting and charring at certain points through the aging to give you different flavours. So they've essentially got, I don't know again, but I'm surmising essentially one type of rum, one type of distillate maybe, but they're using barrels to kind of, with different char levels, different toast levels, to kind of create different flavours. So what we've got here is the Jardin Fruite, and then we've got the Épice Creole. So in basically, to dumb it right down, what I think these rums are all about is that they've basically used wood char levels to kind of create a fruity rum, if that makes sense. And they've used a different kind of char levels, different kind of toast levels, and age and lengths of aging to create a spiced rum, essentially. Now, is this a fruit rum and a spiced rum? No. You know, if you like your plantation Stiggins Fancy, no. If you like your Chairman's Reserve spiced rum, no. Nothing even remotely close to that. Bearing in mind there's no sugar additives or anything like that in them. It's just these different aging techniques. Now let's just focus on the Jardin Fruite for a second, because this is, how could I describe it? This is already taking me on a journey in the potentially 2 months that I've had it, maybe even longer, maybe 3 months that I've had it. When I first opened this bottle, I made, what's the word? I'm going to say proclamation. No, I proclaimed, that's not the word. That's too posh for me. I don't know what the word is. But I basically said that this was more mango forward than Plantation's Stiggins Fancy is pineapple forward. This, for me, was an absolute mango bomb. Is it a mango bomb now? No. It kind of went into this, so after, and that's because air, I'm assuming, it's got into there and oxidized the rum slightly and all this, and kind of the flavors have just had time to develop. So the alcohol, basically, I'm assuming when I opened the bottles, it was those alcohols that were just kind of released straight away. But that's not to say it's not a fruit bomb now. I've seen various other reviews of this, and I really don't agree with them, because this, for me, is still a fruit bomb. It's just nowhere near the mango bomb that I kind of tasted first up when I first opened the bottle. But before I give you the sort of nose and the tasting notes, let's just give you the prices, because, as I said, these do kind of break that £50, $60, €60 kind of vibe that I have on this channel. So at the moment, we've got the Jardin Fruite, £55 in the UK. which is €72.64 of how that translates to. So again, wherever you are, if you've got access to this, you've bought a bottle, let us know roughly around the world so we can kind of compare prices now. Martinique rum, 42% this one. 2-year-old rum, so it's 2 years old. Again, that might be part of the AOC, because I think an aged rum has to be 3. I've forgotten already. I've filmed so many videos, but I think an AOC has to be 3 years, and a Blanc like so yeah, it might fall down on the AOC there as well. I'm not, again, you know, it's not until like 2, 3 months, 4 months from now that I fully absorb all this, that I'll be able to kind of guide you properly there. But so it's a 2-year-old rum, and the barrels are rum aged in French and American oak for 2 years with varying char levels. Essentially, that's what it is. So 2-year-old, 42% rum. Now, the whole, again, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the grouping of these rums, but they are essentially the bar range, the bartender range. From what I gather, they have been created for bartenders to make cocktails, highballs with, you know, simple drinks. They're not designed for sipping rums. But this is my point. If you're trying to sell a £55 rum in the UK, you probably, chances are, you probably, you know, most people are going to look at these are sipping rums, not mixing rums. So, you know, flavour-wise, let's dive into the sort of nuts and the bolts of the flavours of the Jardin Fruite. So, I've already said, do I get that mango bomb? No, I don't get that mango bomb, but I do definitely get, let's go exotic fruits, tropical fruits off here. There's no mistake in that. There's plenty of pineapple on there. There's plenty of banana on there. Plenty of vanilla, plenty of honey on there. There is also a little bit of, this word came up, I would never use this word, but this word came up over the weekend at the rum show. Astringent, you know, that sort of solvent-y glue kind of bit. There's a little hint to it there. But would I say this is a vegetal rum? Would I say it's kind of, you know, a floral rum? Marginal, again. You know, would I pick this as a cane juice rum over a molasses rum? Again, process of elimination, it's very, very different to any kind of molasses rums that I've got up there without it being that sort of, you know, that cane juice in your face kind of aromas. And the last little taste or aroma that I get off it, not when you stick your nose in, when you're there, about a couple of inches away, citrus. And I ain't picking out which citrus. It's kind of like, I tell you where it went, and I can never remember what it's called, but in France especially, you get a Schweppes kind of citrus, fizzy citrus drink. Kind of, I think it's like lime, lemon and grapefruit, orange and grapefruit. I can't think what the hell it's called. Maybe an orange label? And I flipping love it. We don't get it here in the UK. That's the aroma. That's what I'm smelling. It will remind me of. It's just this kind of, not bitter lemon, but fruity. For those of you in the UK, we have bitter lemon. Imagine a bitter lemon with orange, with grapefruit going on. That's kind of the aroma. Now on the taste, this is massively different to the Terroir Volcanique that we did in the last video, this one. Whereas this was rich and creamy, this one's not. This one's got a little, it's almost thinner, but it's even, and this is the weird thing, that's 43%, this is 42. I'm putting this at a lot of higher ABV than what that is. That's just dangerously easy to drink. This one, you get that prickle from the wood. It's almost gripping the sort of side and the underneath of my tongue. And I do kind of get those woody notes. But on top of the tongue, that's where the fruit comes out. And again, it is this mishmash of citrus fruits, of pineapple, of, I'm just going tropical fruit. It's very different to how it was on Bottle Pop, or it's a screw top, but Bottle Pop when it opened it, because it was just mango. But the pineapple, the exotic fruits are still there. You mix some saliva with it. Orange, zesty, juicy orange. It just comes out. It is, but you know, you've always got that prickle of spice on there, that wood spice, pepper, maybe cinnamon, that kind of thing going on. Touch of vanilla from obviously the barrel aging, but nothing like that Terroir Volcanique. But do I pick that up as a cane juice rum? Again, process of elimination, yes, because, and I've said this so many times, because it tastes nothing like a molasses rum. It hasn't got that caramelly, treacly, heaviness, if that's even the right word, syrupiness to it. It's just a lovely, delicate rum. Is it floral? For me, no. Citrusy, yeah, but florally, agricole, not really. It's just a lovely, it's like 2 layers of it. The top of my tongue is still bursting with fruit. The underside of my tongue is like gripping me with wood and spice and barrel aging. But it's so fascinating. Now we move on to the Épice Creole, which again, is, as I say, is part of this. Let's give you the prices of this. We're going up again in price. Again, properly broken my budgets on it. £58 UK, which translates to $76.67. So again, wherever you are around the world, if you've seen that and bought that, and from what I've seen, this is the more popular one actually out of the 2 or out of the 3. So I've seen plenty of photos of this flying around. So let us know what you've paid for it around the world so we can have a good comparison there. Are we just extortionate in the UK? Let us know there. But 46% ABV. So we're jumping up in ABV, hence the price. We have now got a 3-year-old rum. And this is, to read this from the PDF that I've got, rum aged in French and American oak for 3 years, again, with various varying levels of char. Now, obviously spending an extra year in woods with probably, let's be honest, a higher level of char than what's gone into the Jardin Fruite. Obviously, you're now going to get more of those wood notes coming out. You are. So you've got plenty of spice in there. I'm actually going gingerbread. It was kind of, I did go ginger first and cinnamon, but it kind of does really remind me of gingerbread. Once I kind of got that into a thought, I can't get rid of it. You know, I'm just thinking gingerbread. Gingerbread men at Christmas, if you like. That's kind of the aroma there. But if you probably dissected that, you'd probably go cinnamon, you'd probably go nutmeg. Honey, again, you know, it's this, I get a lot of honey vibes off these last few sort of cane juice rums. These are agricoles. So I'm picking honey quite a lot. Maybe for me, that's how I distinguish between cane juice and molasses. Maybe it's that honey vibe that I pick off cane juice and the treacle caramel vibe that I pick off molasses. Maybe for me and my own palate, that's how I sort of tell the difference. Now, there is still a subtle hint of fruit on there. I would go more dried fruit on there than anything. I certainly wouldn't go citrus. I certainly wouldn't go tropical fruit. It's a very different vibe to what that Jardin Fruite is. Very different on there. But again, you know, I'm not really picking anything else out of that. I've got gingerbread. I've got a bit of wood. I've got those sort of honey notes. That's probably where I'd leave that. But on the taste, you give that to a rum fan that likes spiced rum, but not the overly sweet spiced rum. There is no way that they would think that's not infused, if you like. You've got those. I've got UK scratch rums here, but down here, that are not as spice forward as that have actually used real life spices, your cinnamons, your gingers, your nutmegs. That to create, this is why I'm fascinated by this. I think Lewis and Sean at Dropworks, I forget the new distiller's name at Dropworks in the UK. I think that's also a route that they are doing. They are playing around with ferments and barrels to create a spiced rum. I don't think their spiced rum is actually spiced. So it can be done. You don't need spices and sugar to create a spiced rum. This is exactly, potentially, what I want from a spiced rum. It's a rum with no sugar, but those lovely sort of spices going on. So, tasting, honey forward, vanilla, cinnamon. I'm going cinnamon. It's that prickle of cinnamon on the top of the tongue. There is a little bit of fruit. I'm actually going orange. I'm actually going, I'm picking it out. More I'm thinking about it, is it lime? But no, I'm backing myself. I'm picking that as orange. But you know, when you mix saliva with that, the sort of the dried fruit vibes come off. I tell you, this is the trick of the mind. This is what you can do with rums, because my head, because I know there's no spices in there, I know it's barrel aging that's done that. So you're kind of automatically thinking, oh, this is barrel aged, this is wood, this is those vibes that are coming off there, that prickly spice that I'm getting. But it's the finish, it's the mid palate and the finish. It's just like, it's cinnamon, it's vanilla, It's nutmeg. It's maybe even that gingerbread. I mean, that is just delicious. And every bone in my body wants to call that a spiced rum, but I really don't want to upset Rhum and Ash and the Spirit Bam Gam, because I'm not overly sure that's how they're classifying that. I would call that a spiced rum. I would call that a spiced rum, a new age spiced rum that simply hasn't been spiced, that tastes the damn sight better than a lot of the spiced rums we've got here in the UK. So then, to sum up these two rums, like, this asks the power questions, you know, I call them power questions, get me? Do I think they're value for money? Would I restock them? Have I got anything behind the bar already that tastes like them? Well, obviously, no, I've got nothing else behind the bar that tastes like it. I mean, you could equate that to a spiced rum, but again, it's very, very different. I would absolutely love to do that at Peace Creole on a blind tasting. On a spiced rum blind tasting, that would fascinate me so much. And maybe even a Jardin Fruite, especially if I'm rocking out like a Plantation Stiggins Fancy and those sort of flavoured rums, like rums that have been flavoured properly. I would love to see how these fit. I've got that unfair advantage because I know what they are. But that would intrigue me so much. So have I got anything behind the bar already like them? No, because they're rum first and foremost. You know, there's no fruit in that, there's no spices in that. But it's sort of a fruity rum, it's sort of a spiced rum. It's the price that's getting me at the moment, and I'm going to sit on the fence here right in a moment. They are very expensive. They are designed, as far as I know, by Rhum for the bartender market to create drinks and cocktails with them. As yet, I've not done that. I haven't had time to do that, and I will want to see how they go. My head's instantly going for a ginger ale with that. I really want to sip that with ginger ale. I really want to do that in daiquiris. Confession, I have done that in a daiquiri. It's delicious. So I'm going to come back to this because I am going to revisit Martinique. I just wanted to showcase these two rums because I know cane heads will want me to be kind of, what's the word? You know, just kind of focus on proper out and out cage juice rums. But the whole reason I kind of really wanted to focus on these is because these actually do align with my passion for the UK rums at the moment. And that's not to say that I'm not trying to say UK rums are better than anything else. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is UK distillers are pushing those boundaries and doing things completely and utterly different. Yes, we've got a few generic rums, I get that, but there are a handful, there's a crop that I've kind of just befriended and really getting to love and know that are just doing things completely and utterly different. And that's my point. These are completely and utterly different. If you could tell me a year ago that you could create a spiced rum without spices and a flavoured rum, a fruit rum without fruit, and dropper bottles and flavourings, I'd laugh at you. But this is what fascinates me a lot. Yes, they're not AOC, but I'm so fascinated by what the new breeds and the new visions of distillers, no matter where they are in the world, that are coming up and doing things slightly different, as opposed to, oh, we found a new barrel, let's just stick in our rum in a barrel for another 10 years and see what that does. You know, I'm a bit beyond the sherry. I've not fallen for sherry cask or port cask, and that's really not my thing. I really haven't. What I'm falling for is this crazy stuff here. I think that's where I am. So yeah, I look forward to revisit these. There will be a part 2 on this, maybe in the autumn. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm really interested with this. So I hope you've enjoyed Martinique. We will be revisiting, actually a little bit sooner than you might think. I've got a really cool interview lined up, but we definitely will be revisiting Martinique 100%. But from the next week or so onwards, yeah, we're going to be hitting Guadeloupe.